Hello everybody and welcome to, of course, myself, Nick C, for touring with us. A little bit of a general update here, and I'm going to be talking to you whilst eating some chips and sausages and, of course, a can of drink, maybe. Yeah, basically, yes, let me just start till I finish here. It is Tuesday the 27th of January 2026. And I'm going to read you a segment from the magazine named Word for Today. You can see it up on your screen here, and the book is in reverse order because the camera is facing the opposite direction of what, of course, you are witnessing. It's quite confusing, isn't it? Yet the show is time stamped, which is the time just there, and, well, it's actually up on the screen up there, but, of course, it's down there on my viewfinder. So I'm using the sound from the microphone attached to the 5K camera, just in case you're wondering. So, of course, this subject we'll start with is Be Sure to Praise the Lord. And the subheadline is Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous. For praise from the upright is beautiful. And it comes from Psalm 33 verse 1 NKJV. Let's go with the actual segment of Tuesday the 27th of January 2026. Let's go. Of 150 psalms recorded in the Bible, the dominant reoccurring theme is Praise the Lord. The book is like a memo from psalmist that says, Today be sure to praise the Lord. In Psalm 34, David writes this, listen very carefully. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make it, as in make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear it, or hear of it, and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. And that's from Psalm 31 verse 1 to 3 NKJV. In Psalm 103 verse 1 to 3, the psalmist writes this. Praise the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord from this time forth and forevermore. From the rising of the sun until the going down of the same, the Lord's name is to be praised. KJV. In Psalm 108, chapter 24, the psalmist writes, This is the day which the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. NKJV. The Psalm 109, chapter 164, I believe, the psalmist says, 7 times a day do I praise thee. KJV. We have a coffee and tea breaks. They had praise breaks. Finally, we arrive at Psalm 150. The last psalm in verse 6. The last verse of the last psalm were reminded again. Let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. KJV. That means as long as you are alive and breathing, you're to praise the Lord. So whatever else you do or fail to do today, be sure to praise the Lord. So yeah, where it says the psalmist writes, Praise ye the Lord, praise, O ye servants of the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord from this time forth and ever or forevermore. So yeah, if I missed that out, I do apologise there. That's what I meant to say. All from Tuesday the 27th of January 2026. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to move on to something else. If you are interested in popping over to your local Spoons, or Wetherspoons, as you might like to call it in that term, they also have, of course, at least 50 hotels in England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. And this particular magazine, which looks very much like this, if you see this dotted around any restaurant of Spoons or Wetherspoons, whichever you want to call it, and do check it out, pick it up or leave it for someone else to read. But by Jove, it is lovely to actually read something of this kind, which is quite rare in restaurants. No other restaurants will have magazines of this kind. So it's quite a unique experience on that note. And your free magazine doesn't cost you a penny. Winter, spring 2025 to 2026. So the hotels that I'm going to list right now are: in England, Aldershot is the Queen Hotel, Andover the John Russell Fox, Barrow-in-Furness is the Furness Railway, Beccles, the King's Head Hotel, Bedford, the Pilgrim's Progress, Boodley, which is the George Hotel, Biggleswade, the Crown Hotel, and Birmingham, the Briar Rose, it's called there, and Bridport, which is the Greyhound, Camborne, which is not in Cambridge, by the way, it is Camborne somewhere else, and that is the John Francis Bassett. Canterbury, the Thomas Ingoldsby at Chester, the Bull and Syrup Hotel, and Chesterfield, the Portland Hotel, Corby, the Saxon Crown, and Dereham, the Roman Rye, and Doncaster, the Red Lion, the Great Malvern, the Foley Arms Hotel, Great Yarmouth, the Troll Cart, Grimsby, the Yarmouth Hotel, sorry, not Yarmouth Hotel, but Yarborough Hotel. That's in Grimsby, the Yarborough Hotel. I do apologise for any Grimsby fans out there that have been to that hotel. The Yarborough Hotel is what it's called. And in Harwich, the Bottle Kiln. Henley on Thames, or Thames, is the Catherine Will. Huntingdon, which is the Sandford House. King's Lynn, the Globe Hotel. And Kingston upon Hull is the Admiral of the Humber. And Leighton Buzzard is the Swan Hotel, March the Hippodrome, and Newbury the Hatchet Inn, Newcastle upon Tyne, which is the Mile Castle Hotel, Northolt, London, which is the Greenwood Hotel, Oakhampton, which is the White Hart Hotel, Ripon, which is the Unicorn Hotel, and Rochester, the Golden Lion, Salisbury, the King's Head Inn, and Shrewsbury, the Shrewsbury Hotel, Sittingbourne, the Golden Hope, Southend-on-Sea, which is the Last Post, the Tavistock, which is the Queen's Head Hotel, Tewkesbury, which is Tewkesbury, the Royal Hop Pole and Thirsk, the Three Tuns, and Warminster, the Bath Arms, Weston-super-Mare, the Cabot Court Hotel, Whitby, the Angel Hotel, Wigan, the Brocket Arms, and Worcester, the Crown. And in Ireland, in Dublin, is the Caverns Port Hotel, Swords, the Old Borough, and in Scotland, the Broughty Ferry, the Jollies Hotel, Dunfermline is the Guildhall and Linen Exchange, and in Edinburgh, the White Lady, the Glenrose, which is also in Scotland, the Golden Acorn and Iverness, the King's Highway, and in Wales, finally, Brecon, the George Hotel, Bridgend, the Wyndham Arms Hotel, and Monmouth, or is it Monmouth actually, it's pronounced, the King's Head Hotel, and Ruthin, the Castle Hotel. All fantastic places. Some I've been to, I can list some of them that I've personally been to. The Troll Cart in Great Yarmouth is one of them. Sandford House in Huntingdon I've also stayed at. And the third one so far is Beccles at the King's Hotel, which is near Lowestoft. The ones I've actually been to but not yet actually stayed in is the King's Lynn Globe Hotel, and the other one, which is in Bedford, the Pilgrim's Progress, which is, of course, as I say, in Bedford, but I've never stayed there. And March the Hippodrome, which I've actually been to, but not yet currently stayed there. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. So, let's talk very quickly here before the tape runs out, as they used to call it in tape times. Of course, this is quite a useful thing to know about here. I like, of course, the comments that have come from good and bad, and good always comes out of bad, as the saying goes. But, yeah, Tim always replies to whatever comments, and, of course, it's called Your Say, and you can get, if you are printed in the magazine, £20 worth of Wetherspoons gift cards for every letter that they print. It used to be about £30, of course, to spend in any Wetherspoons, but they changed it for whatever reason, I don't know. But yeah, it's usually the editor, Wetherspoons News, JD Wetherspoon Place, Central Park, Reeds Crescent, Watford, WD24 4QL. And the email to the editor is, of course, editor@jdwetherspoon.co.uk. So, yeah, you can either write that address that I just spoke about, the editor of Wetherspoon News, JD Wetherspoon Place, PLC, Central Park, Reeds Crescent, Watford, WD24 4QL. So, yeah, that's the choice of writing to the head office there, or emailing the editor@jdwetherspoon.co.uk. But one important thing to note, which is not actually one of the comment sections, which I'll go to in just a moment here. I'm just going to pick one or two of them in just a bit. But there's a segment here which is quite useful to know when noise annoys. Okay, some restaurants of Wetherspoons, or spoons if you like to call it, do have signs up, such as "Sorry, no animals allowed" except for guide dogs, and also assistant dogs with accredited training from Assistant Dogs UK members, as in member organisations. Please respect others when using phones or other personal devices. Kindly turn off the sound or use headphones. And smoking and vaping are not permitted in designated outside. Smoking and vaping are permitted only in the designated outside areas only, not inside the restaurants. Obviously, thank you for your attention. The new pub notice provides customers with assistance or guide assistance on dogs. See page 54 of the magazine if you ever get a copy of the magazine, or of course request for one. Noise and smoking. So this is what it says in the article about that, when noise annoys. Yeah, when Tim Martin opened his first Wetherspoon pub in 1979, it was actually originally music free, which I didn't know that before, but of course, yeah, in 1979, it was just before I was born, but in particular. That is still the case in a vast majority of companies' pubs, with the exception of its 46 Lloyd's No. 1 bars. Wetherspoons pubs also turn off the volume on its TVs, allowing news channels, and on occasion major sports events. Now, in the world of mobile phone and laptops being used in pubs more than ever, Wetherspoons is asking customers to politely keep the noise down. What do you do? Leave us a comment here if you are annoyed with that suggestion. I'd love to hear from people that actually go to Wetherspoons and find that annoying when, of course, you're listening to something and someone tells you to keep the noise down. Have you ever had that experience? Leave us a comment and tell us if you have. So, yeah. Okay, so they're asking customers to politely keep the noise down. It has signs pictured in its pub, as in pubs, with the wording, "Please respect others when using phones or other personal devices. Kindly turn off the sound or use headphones." And Wetherspoons Operation Director Martin Gegor Hen, I don't know if that's pronounced well, Gegor Hen, as in Martin Gegor Hen, said our pubs are busier than ever and we are simply asking customers who use their phones or personal devices to be respectful of others. The pubs of Wetherspoons can enjoy themselves without being disturbed by too much noise. Let us know what you think, whether you agree or disagree with that, of course, on the comment section here. I am running out of battery here on this camera, just to let you know. So let's read some of the interesting comments coming from, of course, dear Tim, sort of notage there, and of course some of them by writing in or email. Okay, so this one was written in by Mr. Noel Royal from Moorside in Oldham, and he writes in, my wife and I have been frequent visitors to your welcoming and comfortable pubs for years, and we are also happy shareholders. We dine in Wetherspoon at least once a week. Value and prices are unbeatable. One slight grump is, over the last few weeks we noticed that the menu has shortened a lot. No half chicken, no steak meals and no roast dinners, all of which were very good value for money with a drink. We wonder what the reason for their sad loss. They wanted to know basically why they have been removed from the menu, as they feel it's a sad loss, basically. So they wondered what the reason is for their sad loss. So Tim, as in Tim Martin, the chairman of Wetherspoons, who I've actually met myself, and he's a nice guy, by the way. For those who don't say he's a nice guy, they might have a different opinion whatsoever, but I have a great opinion about him. So Tim replies, we have found it very tempting over the years to extend the menu significantly in our pub number 1. At one stage we have just the shepherd's pie between noon and 2 p.m. We felt that in general the menu was getting too big, and this was slowing the service and in some cases risking affecting quality. Hence we stopped selling steaks and a few other items, although the main menu is still pretty extensive in my view, in Tim's view this is. I appreciate your comments and do hope that you can find something you like despite these changes. Interesting. So yeah, I'll read it, just one more here, which is quite a useful one. If you are a fish lover, then of course you might be interested in this one. From Mrs. Andrea Brookman of Eastbourne, and she writes, my family and I have been dining and drinking at Wetherspoon for many years. My daughter and I have a breakfast every Tuesday at the London and County in the centre of Eastbourne. My favourite has always been the avocado on bagel. We like it with alimony cheese. I always read the magazine whilst waiting for breakfast, and a letter mentioned that jacket potato with tuna is returning to the menu, hence this letter. Keeping my fingers crossed. Now, Tim Martin, the chairman of Wetherspoons, replies, I've always felt that smashed avocado was no way to treat a avocado. Also, I used to play tennis with a bagel, being when you lose a set 6-0, taking all those factors into account, as you would expect, someone of my vintage, we've relented on the smashed avocado, but it's on a muffin, not a bagel. If you can follow this reasoning, you've had more than a pint of Abbott. And of course, yes, I'm going to read you one more here as a bonus here, and that's what I'm going to leave you with today. And well, I didn't bring it with me. This is from Paul Roberts via email, because I like to read someone's email as well. There are 2 others that are in the book, so you probably need to read the book if you want to read further. Of course, this is from Paul Roberts, as I say, via email. But of course, he says kindest regards at the end. And he writes, of course, I have been in your pubs enjoying lovely shipyard pints, yet some has decided to put a nozzle similar to the Guinness one, resulting in a pipe which takes an absolute eternity to settle and seems to be too much effort for the bar staff to top up. I now ask for the nozzle to be removed when pouring my pint, but some bar staff cannot see why. When I explain that it will result in an extra work for them to top up the pint, the reply is, we don't top up pints. Please can the correct nozzle be installed on the shipyard pumps? This will save lots of time for everyone. And Tim Martin, the chairman of Wetherspoons, replies this: if a brewer recommends the use of nozzle, Wetherspoon tries to adhere that advice. In this case, the brewer of the shipyard does indeed recommend a nozzle. So for hygiene reasons, we can't really remove the nozzle for specific requests. But we certainly can top up a pint once the beer has settled. Whilst this answer is not what you want, or while this isn't the answer you want, I hope that you understand our reasoning. That's his response to that email suggestion. Right, okay, we're going to say goodbye for now, but of course, thanks for really enjoying, hopefully you have, been enjoying this useful information from the Wetherspoon magazine and the UCB Word for Today, written by Bob and Debbie Gass. From myself, Nick C, we hope you had a lovely, enjoyable watch of the programme, and we'll hopefully carry on promoting, touch wood, the community for you. Till next time, take care of yourselves and most importantly each other, and we'll be back before you can say your words. Are you back or ready? Ta-da for now and cheerio.